everyone, and welcome back to Dog Q&A. This is number 37, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of management in dog training. So I'm going to use our dog Sammy as an example, and he is behind me here. So when we got him, he was around a year old, and he was a scavenger. What I mean by that, if there was food or anything anywhere, he would find it and grab it and run away with it. He also had some resource guarding with food and with anything he deemed high value. And we didn't know what would be high value to him until he stole it and started guarding it. He would steal food from counters and grab food off the ground. On walks, he would just grab something and swallow it, and we didn't know what it was half the time. So we had to start really keeping an eye on him. I was able to modify the behavior by changing his mentality from one of all this stuff is going to go away to one of if you give me that stuff, you'll get something better. So we were able to kind of minimize his behavioral issues, but it's always going to be a part of him. So we constantly have to manage his environment. So, using Sammy's food stealing as an example, let's define what management means in terms of dog training. What it is managing your dog in training means setting your dog up to succeed and not leaving things out that could cause your dog to do something you don't want him to do. Or not leaving him in a situation where he's going to do something you don't want him to do. So in this case, for Sammy, management means not leaving food on the counter where he can get it. And you might think, oh, let's just push it to the middle. I'm telling you, this dog can get anything, anywhere. My husband made me sort of a healthy dessert one time for my birthday. He left it on the stove, and it was in a glass pan with foil on top. He left for a minute, came back. The foil was peeled back and the entire thing was missing, and the pan had not moved an inch. So Sammy literally, he's stealthy. He stood up on the stove, peeled the foil back, ate everything out without moving the dish. So this dog can find food. Okay, so for him, it means we're not going to leave food out anywhere. And if there is food out, it is stacked all the way back behind things where he can't get to it. So what I would do in this case is I would not leave a loaf of bread sitting on the island here. What I would do is put it in the refrigerator or stack it back away behind something where he can't get to it. Now, in training, management is only half the issue, or half of the solution to your issue. You also have to teach your dog an alternative behavior that you reward him for as much or more than stealing food from the counter. So by stealing the food, your dog's getting an intermittent reinforcement, which is very strong. So it is important that you continuously reinforce his being doing something different that you want him to do. So in Sammy's case, what I've taught him is that I have a cue called out of the kitchen, which means if you get out of the kitchen, go on the rug, we will give you a treat. So I can show you that here. Sammy, out of the kitchen, buddy. Back up. Good. And then usually he will also lie down. Good boy. And then he gets a reward. So he knows when he starts getting beggy and starts sniffing around when we're cooking, he goes over there, lies down, and then he gets rewarded for that instead. So a few examples of things you can manage in your dog training. If you have a dog that chews up shoes, put the shoes away. Put them in a room, shut the door, put them in a closet, close the door, something like that. Keep them out of your dog's reach. If your dog digs holes in the yard when he's outside, don't let him out by himself. Make sure that you go out with him every time so you can either stop him from digging and bring him back in, or teach him to dig in a spot. and then you have to be there to teach him those things. If your dog jumps up on people, don't let your dog greet people at the door. Put him on a leash, take him back away from the door, have him sit and look at you instead. So a little thinking ahead can save you a lot of frustration and prevent your dog from doing something you don't like or that may actually hurt your dog. So hopefully this helps give you a little more idea of how to manage your dog when you're working with a behavior. If you have a dog question you want me to answer on the dog Q&A, or you want to be a guest on the show and talk about your dog behavior issue, you can email me at casperscanines@gmail.com, and the link, it'll be in the description. Or you can visit my website for online dog training at triciacasper.com, and that link will also be there. Hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I will see you next week. All right, bye-bye.